The Tactics of Lateral Movement. Brought to you by Epoch Martial Arts. There are at least 5 domains of physical force in the martial arts: empty hand, weapons, stand-up, ground, and mass attacks. A complete martial arts program will address all 5 of these domains. Regardless of which domain is implemented, they all leverage lateral movement. What is lateral movement? Martial arts expert Scott Gehring explains.
So Sean and I are squared off in a fight. There are 3 types of movement. I can move up and down, vertical movement. I can move in and out, accordial movement. Or I can move left and right, lateral movement. Today we're going to focus on lateral movement, which is just the side-to-side element.
In combat, lateral movement is measured through fields along the dimension of width. The following diagram is an excerpt from the book Strategic Engagement of Force, a field guide for the use of martial arts strategy and tactics. Defined within are 3 lateral fields of engagement: inside, outside, and center. The fields are based on the receiving actor's reference point when in a neutral force alignment. Scott Gehring explains.
Sean and I are squared off in a fight. Center line is the reference point to determine what lateral field of engagement you reside in. There are 3 lateral fields. There is on the line, there is off the line, inside. There's off the line to the outside. The inside determines the inside targets and tools. The outside determines the outside target and tools. On the line is when you actually remain on the center line or the line of attack. With lateral fields, the line is drawn based on the opponent's line. The opponent is the one who controls the line. It's not my reference point, it's his reference point. So if I'm fighting Sean, he's the one that's drawing the line, not me. So it's his inside versus his outside versus his on the line. So when he throws that jab, I'm off to his inside, and then it allows me to control my technique. So I'm on his inside, okay? It's his inside that's the most important. So I can get here, and then I can come in and take that inside line.
How do lateral fields apply to the tactics of movement? The tactical considerations of lateral fields. The inside advantage is that it exposes the most vital tools and targets on an opponent. This can be better for when you are attacking. The disadvantage is that it makes you more vulnerable to follow-up attacks since there are more tools that can be used against you. This makes the inside weaker on defense. Scott Gehring demonstrates.
Sean's going to throw a simple jab, and I'm going to zone to the inside. Notice I got off the center line. When he shoots that jab, I actually got off the center line, took the inside line, and did a move. There's many different techniques that can be done off the inside line. This is just an example, but it's a way of categorizing your techniques. Obviously, whenever you're working the inside line, you always have danger of this secondary hand that can come in at any moment. So whenever taking the inside line, you want to be cognizant of what that secondary hand. Okay? So here, I've got to maintain monitoring this. I either have to, I can't ignore that. Now he may or may not fire it. I don't have control over him. But at least I always got to be aware of what that line looks like. Notice Sean. He's moving off center and taking the inside. That's the inside lateral field of engagement right there.
Next, the advantages and disadvantages of center. The center advantage is that it enables the fastest angle and entry or retreat from an opponent. Attacks down center enable both blitzing and stalking. The disadvantage is it keeps your targets directly on the line of fire, putting you at higher risk of getting hit. This makes the center weaker on defense. Gehring demonstrates.
We're going to use a simple jab. Sean's going to throw a jab. Now what I did is I actually reacted and stayed on the line. So at this point, I am on the center lateral field engagement. Notice the split. I didn't get off the line either side. I stayed on the line, and now I have a split entry. Nice. These techniques we're demonstrating are on the center lateral field. Yep. This way. Wish it were here. I come in here. Let's try to get that.
The advantages and disadvantages of the outside. The outside advantage is that it moves you to the flank of an opponent. This position nullifies the backup weapon and gives you access to the golden triangle of targeting. The disadvantage. None. This is the best place to be in a one-on-one fight.
If you recall, there's 3 lateral fields of engagement. We have on the line, off the line inside, and off the line outside. I can be on the line. I can be inside the line. Or I can be outside the line. So now I'm hitting the flank. All right, notice this angle. He kind of hit me from the side. So now I'm to his outside line at that point. There's a lot of different techniques you can do from that realm. That's just one technique that just happened to come out. I don't really pick the technique. He picks the technique. The outside lateral field has certain advantages because when he shoots, I don't have to worry about the secondary hand as much. It kind of nullifies it. The position nullifies the secondary hands. He fires that secondary hand, nullified. Okay? Nullified. That's not that he can't get me, but it just doesn't have a lot of power from that point. Okay? So, again, one of the major advantages of the outside lateral field is nullification of the backup weapon. Notice Sean and I are just playing. Mike Tyson was the master at working lateral fields of engagement. You watch Sean in this way, and he's fighting me. Mike Tyson used the peekaboo method. And he would play with all 3 lateral fields in combination. So he would actually start out, come in, bam, set up with the jab. See, look at his movement. So you never knew where he was going to come. He would play with all 3 lateral fields of engagement. 1, 2, 3, boom, pop to the outside. He'd pop it, cut, lead it on a jab, boom, 1, 2, 3, boom, pop to the inside. So you never really knew. You knew he was going to come in, and you knew he was bobbing back and forth, but you never really knew where the end state was. What lateral field would he end on? Very, very hard to beat. Yeah, that's good. Good.
We hope you found this video useful. Until next time.